Disney didn't need to rewrite history to make powerful women. They already did it better, decades ago. Before Snow White 2025 came in swinging with preachy lines and awkward edits, Disney had already created strong, independent, and empowering characters, without making the entire story revolve around that fact. From Mulan saving China, to Belle choosing knowledge over status, to Tiana working her way to the top, these stories didn't need to lecture you about female power. They showed it, naturally, believably, and most importantly, through good writing. So today, we're counting down the top 10 Disney movies that were actually diverse, inclusive, and empowering, without trying so hard to be woke. And yes, we're going to be comparing each one to everything Snow White 2025 got wrong. Buckle up. 10. The Princess and the Frog, 2009. Tiana didn't need a personality rewrite to be empowering. She was empowering from day one. She's Disney's first black princess, but more importantly, she's got grit. She's chasing her dreams, grinding 2 jobs, and literally turning down fairy tale nonsense to build her own restaurant. No lectures, no cringy monologues, just a woman with goals. Compare that to Snow White 2025, where the message is loud, but the story? Flat. They tell us she's a leader, but show us absolutely nothing. Tiana showed us strength through action. Snow White 2025 tells us through press interviews. One inspires little girls. The other confuses the algorithm. 9. Mulan, 1998. Mulan didn't need sparkly CGI or endless monologues about finding herself. What made this movie powerful was how it handled identity and sacrifice. She wasn't trying to rule a kingdom or prove her worth by shouting about it. She literally took her father's place in the army and trained, failed, learned, and earned respect. That's growth. Meanwhile, in Snow White 2025, Snow just wakes up already confident, already perfect, already the future queen, with 0 internal conflict. No challenge, no grit. Mulan gave us complexity. Snow White gave us wokeism. 8. Lilo and Stitch, 2002. This one's underrated, but Lilo and Stitch is peak inclusive storytelling done right. We've got a Hawaiian girl being raised by her big sister after losing their parents. And Disney doesn't feel the need to slap you in the face with a moral every 5 minutes. Lilo is quirky, misunderstood, and fiercely loyal. Nani is a young woman trying to hold her broken family together. And Stitch? Literally an alien learning what it means to have Ohana, a family that sticks by you even when you're a mess. Compare that to Snow White 2025, where family is barely even a theme. The queen's just evil, the dad's clueless, and Snow's personality is all over the place. Lilo and Stitch didn't need to rewrite history. It just told a heartfelt, diverse, emotionally rich story. And let the characters speak for themselves. 7. Big Hero 6, 2014. You want diversity and inclusion? Big Hero 6 is bursting with it. And it doesn't stop the story to make a big speech about it. Hero is a Japanese-American protagonist, raised by a single aunt, and surrounded by a team of smart, capable, and totally unique characters from different backgrounds and skill sets. You've got Go-Go, a no-nonsense speed queen. Honey Lemon, a sweet chemist genius. Wasabi, super smart and cautious. And Fred, well, he's Fred. It's an entire team where everyone brings something valuable to the table. And it's just baked into the world. No finger pointing, no checklists. Compare that to Snow White 2025, where they seemed more concerned about checking representation boxes than actually developing characters with depth. Big Hero 6 proves you can celebrate inclusion and still tell a meaningful, emotional, and visually stunning story. And Hero's grief arc still hits hard. That's how you build a story that resonates without the cringe. 6. Beauty and the Beast, 1991. Let's talk about Belle, one of the OG Disney girl bosses without even trying. She's smart, curious, values kindness over appearances, and literally turns down the hottest guy in town because he's a walking red flag. Belle doesn't change who she is to fit into the world. She challenges it. And when she falls in love, it's because of genuine connection, not a forced subplot about finding herself. What made Beauty and the Beast so good is that it never needed to shout about being feminist. It was feminist, just by letting Belle be complex. She reads books, has dreams, and still shows compassion. It's that balance of strength and heart that made her so iconic. Compare that to Snow White, 2025, where the lead trashes the original love story, says she doesn't need saving, and ends up being written like a lecture on empowerment instead of a character. It's all talk, no depth. Belle didn't need to remind us she was powerful. She just opened a book and proved it. 5. Moana, 2016. Now this is how you write female empowerment. Moana is strong, brave, and independent, but never in a "look how strong I am" way. She's vulnerable. She questions herself. She's scared. And she goes anyway. That's real courage. That's real growth. And here's the kicker. There's no love interest, no prince, no side plot romance to distract her from saving her island. It's just her culture, her ancestors, and her own damn grit. The story is deeply rooted in Polynesian mythology, and it actually respects the culture it's based on, instead of using diversity like a prop for brownie points. Disney got it so right here by telling a universal story through a specific lens. Compare that to Snow White 2025, which is so busy trying to rewrite the idea of a princess that it forgets to give her personality. 4. Frozen, 2013. Love doesn't have to mean romance. And Frozen proved that with one line, an act of true love will thaw a frozen heart. And guess what? It wasn't a kiss. It was a sister risking her life for another. This movie flipped the script without tearing down old ones. Elsa isn't powerful because she's angry at the world. She's powerful in spite of her fear. She isolates herself to protect others, not to prove a point. That's emotional depth, not a lecture. And Anna? She's bubbly, awkward, and optimistic. Not perfect, but she saves the day because of her heart, not her sword. These characters feel real, flawed, human. Compare that to Snow White 2025, where strength is confused with snark, and empowerment is reduced to "don't need no man" one-liners. 3. Brave, 2012. Now this is what natural female empowerment looks like. No lectures, no forced messaging, just solid storytelling. Merida is a skilled archer and fiercely independent, but she's also layered and flawed. The story isn't about her being better than everyone. It's about learning to understand her mother, Eleanor, and breaking the cycle of miscommunication between generations. She doesn't hate tradition. She just questions why things are done a certain way. Her journey isn't about rejecting her culture, but reshaping it with empathy. That's a real coming-of-age arc, not just storming around yelling, "I don't need a prince." And speaking of princes, there aren't any. Not because Merida swears off love, but because the story isn't about that. It's about healing a mother-daughter bond, taking accountability, and choosing your own fate. Unlike Snow White 2025, which seems more interested in dunking on the original than telling a grounded story, Brave lets its message breathe. No lectures, just heartfelt growth and a little magic. 2. Jasmine in Aladdin, 1992. Jasmine wasn't just a love interest. She was a political force in the story. Her storyline subtly tackled systemic issues like arranged marriage and class privilege without needing a long speech about it. She was one of the first Disney princesses to actively challenge her role in society, refusing to be a prize to be won, calling out palace traditions, and even sneaking out to experience the world firsthand. Jasmine brought rebellion and curiosity to a story built around freedom and identity. And unlike Snow White 2025, which sidelined actual world building for vague, independent woman quotes, Jasmine's choices had real stakes. Her story balanced cultural setting, romance, and power struggles, all while staying fun and adventurous. 1. Snow White, 1937. Snow White may not wield a sword or lead a rebellion, but her strength lies in how she handles cruelty, danger, and loneliness, with grace and resilience. She's exiled from her home, nearly assassinated, and forced to survive in the woods, yet never becomes bitter or vengeful. Instead, she makes a home for herself and the dwarfs, not by dominating them, but by caring for them. She shows emotional intelligence, empathy, and leadership, organizing the household, encouraging hygiene, even softening Grumpy's attitude through consistent kindness. That's influence rooted in character, not aggression. She also displays trust and faith, not blind ignorance, but a belief in goodness even after being betrayed. That trust is tested. Remember, she only falls for the Queen's trick after a full day of suspicion. But unlike the 2025 version, she's not constantly scolding or condescending. The original Snow White isn't outdated. She's a reminder that feminine traits like kindness, domesticity, and vulnerability can be strong in their own right. You don't have to swing a sword to change people's hearts. Disney didn't need to fix her. They just needed to understand her. And there you have it. 10 Disney characters who prove that diversity, strength, and empowerment don't need to be forced or performative. Let us know your favorite Disney character who got it right. And hey, if you're tired of the messy remakes, you're not alone. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.